Good morning, students. Welcome to online session of Social Sciences. In today's class, I will be explaining the next topic of chapter 6. Name of the chapter is Towns, Traders and Craft Persons. Now, before this class, I have explained regarding the towns. As we got to know, there were different types of towns like court towns, temple towns, commercial towns, and after that I have explained about some craft. Today I will explaining trade and industry. So during this period, this trade was flourishing a lot. In this period, that both kinds of trade was there, inland and foreign trade both. Inland trade means within the particular country and foreign trade means out of that particular country, means with other country. Now here that exports and imports were there. Few items were exported from India and few important items were imported to India. Now we will see about which were the items which had been exported and imported. So first we will see the items which were exported from India. They were textile, indigo, saltpetre and spices. And the items which were imported, they were wines, metals, especially silver. Now for this trade, the traders, they were using different routes, especially that both that land and sea routes, they were used by these traders. Now how they were using, what was the reason behind using the land and sea routes? The traders, they were always looking for the safer and the appropriate route so that they can reach to their destination very safely and in an appropriate manner. Now for their trade, they were choosing their route, whether they want to go from that land route or they want to go from sea route. Now we are having one example here, that is the example of European merchant. What happened in the 15th century, the Turkey, they have forced the European merchants to look for the another route by the sea to towards the east. Now what happened? Now when the Europeans, they started looking out for the another route than the land, there were two persons, those who have discovered the route. First was the Portuguese sailor Bartolomeu Dias and Vasco da Gama. Both, they have pioneered the sea route via the Cape of Good Hope, that is the Horn of Africa to India. In this manner, they have discovered the sea route. Next, we are having the traders. During this period, the traders were of both kinds, big and small. Now, as you all know, that Indian society was divided into three classes: upper class, middle class and lower class. So this middle class, it was containing three types of group, you can say: merchants, professional classes and officials. Merchants means those who were doing trade and commerce. Okay. Professional classes, this class is the person, those who were doing profession like doctor, lawyer, teacher. These are the profession. So this professional classes including this kind of people. Officials means those who are doing the office work. Here now we'll talk about the merchants. So all these merchants, they were having a very high degree of professionalism, means they were they had always followed the professional rules or the business rules during their trade. Now here, as that particular class is there for the trade, as merchant was there, they become very much expert in the wholesale and the retail trade. Now what is the meaning of wholesale trade? Wholesale purchase or sale means whenever that any goods or any item when it will be purchased in a very bulk quantity, or if it will be sold in a bulk quantity, that time it is called wholesale. And retail trade means retailers, they buy their goods from the wholesaler, and thereafter they will sell to the final consumer. Now this wholesale trader, they were having the different names. In the South India, they were called with the another name, and in North India, they were having different name. So in Northern India, this wholesaler or wholesale trader were called as Seth or Bora. And the retailers, they were known as Vyaparis or Baniks. Now in the South India, these traders, they were having different name. The Chetis were there, and these Chetis, they have formed the trading community in the South India. Now beside this Vyaparis, Seth, Vora, Chetis, one more group was there, that was Banjaras. And these Banjaras, they were the people or this special class, they were moving from one place to another place, and they were having with them food grains, salt and ghee, etc. Now in 17th century, when that English and Dutch traders, they reached to India, they have discovered that the India is having a very strong financial system, and they are having a very much developed trade and commerce. Now during this trade and commerce, do you know which element has played a very vital role? Yes, the major rivers, they have played a vital role in the trade in medieval period. Now how they have played this vital role? As these rivers, they were helping the traders to move goods from one place to another place. Now what these trader communities, they were doing? They have started moving, or they have selected the sea route for their trade. And for this trade, they had some world's richest merchants also, like Frigyes Vora, he was there in the Gujarat trade, and then Malaya Chetty on Coromandel coast, then Abdul Ghaffur Vora. All these rich merchants were involved there in the trade of India. Then there was a French traveler, Bernier. He said that that merchants tried to look poor because they were afraid that they would be used like filled sponge or squeezed. Means that merchants, they were very rich, but they were appearing themselves like very poor, so that the people, they will not able to squeeze them, or they will not take the disadvantage of their wealth. Now in the previous chapter, we have studied that the Sultanate rulers and the Mughal rulers, both they have provided a very strong political, or you can say very stable political condition to the country. And because of this reason, in the medieval period, there was a very good growth in agriculture, trade and commerce. Now here that agriculture, it remained there forefront only of that production. Among them, food grains, spices and condiments were exported from the Bengal, Gujarat and Surat. Now when the Muslim rulers or the Mughal rulers, they came to India, then there was a very growth in the inland and foreign trade both. Here that Marwaris, Gujaratis, they were having a lot of trade, and among them Chinese were there. Now all the Muslim merchants, they also started participating in trade, and they had a overland trade here in the country, and they were having this trade with Central and West Asia, and this trade Multanis, Croatians and Iranis were famous. Now all the merchants that they were coming here India for the trade, they started settling down in Delhi only. Now the people or the traders, those who are coming for buying and that purchasing, they started gathering there at one place along with their goods. Now there was one chronicler, Ibn Battuta, and with him Chernobyl and Ralph Finch. They describe the Delhi as the most significant city, magnificent city. Sorry, why? Because there was the traders were coming from all over that world for their trade, and in at Delhi also many traders they were living for their trade. Now in Delhi, for the trade or for the that trade or commerce you can say, or for the buying and purchasing of the goods, that goods and items they were coming from the all over directions. Okay, for example, that rice they were coming from the east part of the country, the sugar they were coming from Kannauj, wheat it was coming from the Doab, and fine silk was coming from the south for the trade here in Delhi. Now beside this, cotton textiles were there, metalware, jewelry, ivory, etc. They were also there. And along with that, cargoes, they were coming from Arabia. Then cargoes were coming from East Africa, Sri Vijaya, that is in Indonesia, and China. From all these places, cargoes were arrived in Delhi. Now Bengal was the main center trade with China. Many Chinese merchants many Chinese merchants and the trade missions visited Bengal in 15th century. Now in next class I will be explaining the rest of the topic along with these two topics, textile and indigo. Thank you.